couple of years ago, Marvel surprised a lot of people by taking Antman, a character who only seldom headlined his own feature, and made a pretty damn good movie. And this month, Antman is back, but this time with another superhero sharing the spotlight. Of course, the movie is about Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne as the title characters, but the original comic book Ant-Man was Henry Pym, who discovered the mysterious Pym particle, a substance that let him change his size at will. Within a few issues, he was introduced to young socialite Janet Van Dyne, who became not only his romantic interest, but also his partner as the Wasp, who not only had Pym's size-altering powers, but also the ability to fly and fire powerful energy stings. Through the years, the couple have been through breakups, reunions, a wedding, a divorce, and a domestic violence incident that colored Pym's reputation as a character for years. But their importance as a super couple is undiminished. As you've probably guessed, they're far from the first superhero romantic couple, but while having a romantic interest, your Mary Janes, your Lois Lanes, your Steve Trevors, is practically mandatory, a superhero having a romantic relationship with another superhero was a little bit rarer in the old days. One thing that Ant-Man and the Wasp share with most couples that came before them is thematic consistency. The woman, Golden and Silver Age couples being uniformly hetero, was usually the partner and had the same powers or gimmicks as the man, who was almost always the main hero and the feature's star. See Bullet Man and Bullet Girl, Hawkman and Hawk Girl, Rocket Man and Rocket Girl, Lash Lightning and Lightning Girl, Owl and Owl Girl, Doll Man and Doll Girl. Never woman, always girl in the Golden Age. Regardless, most of these female counterparts weren't necessarily helpless, and many, as often as not, saved the male hero from duress almost as often as the male hero saved them. Most were existing romantic interests putting on a costume, and were only occasionally in their heroic roles even after they adopted them. But some, like Bullet Girl, became solid equal partners, just as important to the series as the original hero. I'm Bullet Girl, honing in on your little game. Look! A dame! Susan! There were exceptions. Although Shaman and the Flame had matching costumes, they had radically different themes, and Scarlet Nemesis and the Black Orchid looked as if they were crossing over from two different strips. Granted, neither of these pairs were stated directly as being romantic couples. Their features were also both only one story long, so there wasn't really time for that to come through. On the other hand, in a complete reversal of roles, the Spider Widow, a two-fisted lady crime fighter who dressed in a sexy dress and a Halloween witch's mask for some reason, eventually met and fell for the ridiculously garbed Raven, a rare case where the man was the sidekick. Ludicrous as his outfit was, Raven must have had something going for him because he was also the target of romantic interest from Phantom Lady. Well, darn it, if you take your mask off, I'll take mine off and come here. Late Golden Age stories would bring a few interesting twists into the fold, such as longtime Captain America love interest Betsy Ross, formerly Betty Ross, becoming Golden Girl, or even more interestingly, Mary Mitchell, aka Sun Girl, who first appeared in her own title in 1948 and would eventually become the romantic interest of the Golden Age Human Torch. Another interesting twist in the Golden Age that continues today to a limited extent is the romantic attraction between archenemies. Most exemplified by Batman and Catwoman, you could also see it with heroic aviator Airboy and enemy pilot Valkyrie, masked Western star Red Mask and whip-wielding bandit Black Phantom, and in more recent years Spider-Man and the Black Cat or Daredevil and Elektra. Of course, not every romantic interest was destined to work out. We can't marry because we're cousins. Though cousins can marry in certain countries here on Earth, we're both from the planet Krypton, where the marriage of cousins is unlawful. Also, I'm 15 and I'm not sure why that isn't an issue for you. Don't worry, as if I could help worrying about the one I love. But I can never tell her. I have no right. Not while I'm the leader of the X-Men and confined to this wheelchair. And also, she's 16. I'm not sure why that's not an issue for me. Gosh, Ronnie, I didn't know dating you would be so much better than dating Archie. Honey, tonight I'm going to show you that I'm better than Archie at everything. Oh wait, that's not a superhero comic. I've got the wrong image file open. The possibilities came to a head in the Silver Age when super teams became more common and interactions between heroes were allowed to develop. You'd see the formation of such iconic couples as Reed and Sue Richards in the Fantastic Four, the Vision and the Scarlet Witch in the Avengers, Black Canary and Green Arrow in the Justice League, and a list that would be a whole video in itself in the Legion of Superheroes.
Some couples would last, some would collapse, but for the first time, heroic couples were largely on equal footing. They weren't hero and sidekick, they were teammates.
As storylines expanded and comic universes became more intertwined, superhero couples became more and more common. Even some intercompany crossover couples, such as Beast Boy and Kitty Pryde or Robin and Jubilee, have some mild canon status.
Recent years have allowed for a more diverse couple, starting, I believe, with the Legion of Superheroes Lightning Lass and Shrinking Violet coming out and confessing their love, although that has sadly been retconned out of the main continuity. But this opened the door for other same-sex couples like Wiccan and Hulkling, Midnighter and Apollo, or Harley and Ivy.
And there's no reason to think there's an end in sight for superhero couples. Now, there are still plenty of stories to tell about Supermen and their non-powered Lois Lanes, but a couple who saves the world together has to have a strong bond.
From Cyclops and Jean Grey to Robin and Spoiler, from Invincible and Adam Eve to Cyclops and Emma Frost, whether they're flings, on-again, off-again romances, or eternal soulmates, the path of superhuman love flows ever on.
Romance ultimately can be as important to a comic story as massive battles and evil schemes, and much of that is because an ant-sized boy met a wasp-sized girl, and that is Ant-Man and the Wasp's Golden Age influence.
I'd like to know that adorable Thor better.
You know your boyfriend is right there.